Hey everybody, it's Yasmin here. I thought I'd do a voice-only podcast this week. I'm actually fairly presentable, but it just feels right, so here we go. Welcome to the Mainly Moonology Podcast for the week beginning October 12, 2020-25. I'm Yasmin Boland, and this week the cosmos brings us into a very powerful chapter where there's going to be a chance for healing around relationships, healing around love, healing around abundance, all sorts of things. It's also a chance for emotional release and for what you could call cosmic realignment. So sit back, relax, and get ready to hear about the astrology for the week ahead. So the astrology this week is rather fabulous. We have Venus entering the sign of Libra, which is great because Venus is very, very at home in the sign of Libra. It's one of its two home signs along with Taurus. And Venus is the planet of love and abundance. So when Venus is in a good mood, relationships and money matters usually tend to be in quite a good mood. Plus Venus is making some major connections, which I will go into with Neptune, Uranus and Pluto. I'll be telling you what that means. We have Pluto turning direct, which is interesting because it marks a very big energetic shift. Plus we have the last quarter moon in the sign of Cancer, which is really a call to ask yourself, are you being paranoid, amongst other things. Also, it's really a time to nurture yourself. It's a week of, I guess, surrender and softness and even soul work. So let's breathe into that and dive into it. So first of all, Venus returns to Libra. Okay, on October the 13th, Venus will enter her home sign of Libra, which is very much about restoring grace and beauty and a desire for harmony to the world. We can only hope. Okay, Venus in Libra really encourages us to seek peace in the world, peace in our relationships. But remember, Venus actually has two sides to her. There's one side which is soft and perfumed and loves caresses. There's another side that's quite assertive, a bit like women who have, who are soft and gentle but can stand up for themselves. Venus won't shy away from showing us what's out of alignment this week. So if you're noticing things in your life that aren't quite the way you feel like they should be, especially in relationships, be they personal or professional, Venus in Libra is going to help bring that into balance. Not long after she enters Libra, Venus opposes Neptune over the other side of the skies in Aries. So this is a very interesting, mystical moment. It could feel beautiful and poetic, or it might just be disorienting and deceptive and disappointing. Okay, on the one hand, you could find yourself really yearning for soul connection with someone. You might start seeking artistic inspiration. You might want to tune into divine love. But be careful because what you feel may not be quite what is under this connection. So do ask yourself, am I seeing what I'm seeing clearly, or am I seeing what I want to believe? Am I seeing this clearly, or am I seeing what I want to believe? Okay, this opposition between Venus and Neptune can be tricky. It means we put on our rose-colored glasses and don't necessarily see someone for who they are. But it can also be a spiritual time of compassion and healing. We're going to talk a bit more about compassion in a minute and I'm going to give you a little invocation to the goddess of compassion, Kuan Yin, so stay tuned for that. Okay, and next, Pluto goes direct just after Venus enters Libra in the early hours of October 14. Pluto goes direct in Aquarius. What that means is Pluto ends its current retrograde cycle that's been in for a while. So this is actually really big. Pluto is the planet of soul, transformation, and it's the planet of emotional excavation, okay? And it's been retrograde for a long time, asking us to do some deep inner work. And, I was thinking about this, and I recently had some time in France at the lake by myself, which was a rare treat to have time. We're all so busy and there's so much going on, to actually have a couple of weeks there just with me and Jonty. It was amazing, and a chance for really deep inner work. And I think that was me really feeling the Pluto retrograde. Maybe you've been doing some deep inner work as well. Anyway, now that's over, we start to see what we've cleaned out, how we are post the apocalypse, and we start to move forward again. So this really is our cue to start to move forwards as well. It's really a time to say, enough. I'm ready to release the fear. I'm ready to release the past. I'm ready to release any toxicity. I'm ready to step into my power. Are you ready? And it's no coincidence that this month also leads us straight into one of the most emotionally resonant lunar phases of the month. We get the last quarter moon in Cancer. That's on October 14. So Cancer is the sign that's ruled by the moon, or moon child, as I like to call the sign. And it's all about emotions and family and ancestry and the inner child. And the last quarter moon is a time of releasing and letting go and preparing for the next cycle and the new moon, which is going to be in the sign of Libra, which is relationships, okay? So there's a new start coming, but this is the time to let go before the new moon. Is to clear out all the rubbish. So what does this mean spiritually? It means it's your moment to let go of emotional baggage, especially anything that you know is deeply rooted in your childhood or family dynamics, or outdated beliefs about yourself when you really get down to the very bottom of it. You could feel a bit sensitive this week because Cancer, the moon child, is a very, very sensitive sign, and that's okay. Sensitivity is sacred. I wanted to give you a couple of journaling prompts for this moon phase, and I've created a free PDF that's got these and actually the Kuan Yin invocation we're about to do in a minute as well. That's moonmessages.com/healing, moonmessages.com/healing. The two prompts I came up with are quite deep, and if you really work with them, sit down, have a coffee or a tea or a glass of water and get your pen and journal and ask yourself, what emotional pattern am I finally ready to break? What emotional pattern am I finally ready to break? And also, just because we've got that last quarter moon in Cancer, which is about ancestry amongst other things, what did I inherit emotionally that I now choose to heal? What did I inherit emotionally that I now choose to heal? And maybe on the night of the last quarter moon in Cancer, on the 14th, take a salt bath, speak to your ancestors, even your grandparents if they're departed. Rest, nourish yourself, and allow space for some emotional alchemy. Okay, if you do that last thing at night, that bath, you'll probably do a lot of emotional work while you sleep, which is a bit easier than doing it when you're awake sometimes. Then we come to two really interesting Venus connections. On the evening of the 14th UK time at least, Venus trines Uranus, so that's a harmonious connection. So that can be a liberation emotionally in a relationship. It can be somehow a wonderful surprise, an unexpected turnaround, some fantastic insights around love, relationships, your partner, your ex, creativity, freedom. They are all the themes. It's the moment when the Venus-Neptune fog, if there was any, should start to lift. You could feel a sudden urge to break free from a limiting relationship pattern, or more likely, because it's a harmonious connection, really a joyful spark of love in your heart that makes you go, oh, I feel amazing. It could even be a great time to meet someone if you're single and open to new relationships. Can also be about clarity on your spiritual path. This is really heart awakening, Venus-Uranus. So be open, be curious, and ask yourself, what if I loved myself enough? What would that change? If I loved myself enough, what would that change? And then we get Venus harmonizing with Pluto on October the 15th. Very, very magical. Venus is the planet of love and abundance. Pluto is the planet of magic. And, this really is like a cosmic confirmation that whatever you've been releasing under the quarter moon, under the waning cycle, is actually making space for something more powerful, more aligned, more loving, and generally just rather fabulous. Okay, and so, it's a kind of a really nice, interesting week, and we're going to be starting to feel all this straight from the get-go from the weekend. And, when we get the Venus-Pluto connection, just remember this: love can be a tool for transformation. So whether that's romantic love, self-love, family love, friendship love, universal love, it's all part of the same vibration. It's all really well starred this week. It's a really beautiful moment for ritual, if you do rituals, deep conversations, heartfelt journaling. Just remember who you are. Yeah, and so what I wanted to do was give you a little ritual for the last quarter moon in Cancer. So I've given it to you on the PDF, which you can download for free at moonmessages.com/healing, moonmessages.com/healing. But let me just talk you through it here as well. So I would say prepare a little space, a cozy space, and bring some water elements into that space, like shells or a bowl of salty water. Bring a soft blanket. Cancer energy loves comfort and homely stuff. Write down what you're ready to release under the last quarter moon, under the waning moon. And, think about emotional patterns, limiting beliefs, stories from the past that just no longer serve you. And then bless and release. Bless and release what you're ready to release, and just burn it. Burn it in the sink to be on the safe side. Don't burn the house down. And as you burn it, you can just say to yourself silently or out loud something like, I release what I need to let go. I welcome peace. I release what I need to let go. I welcome peace. And then, end with a nice cup of tea or a glass of hot water if you're like my friend Sandra, who likes hot water. A comforting meal, extra sleep. Just nurture your body, because that is a part of the magic as well. Okay? And I also wanted to give you an invocation if you feel that you need to be a little bit more compassionate with yourself or with someone else. Here we go. And again, this is on the free sheet that I'm offering you. So here is something for all of us now. Just listen to it, let it wash over you. And if you want the words, they're on the PDF. I'll put the link in the description in the show notes. And I'll tell it to you again once I've given you this Kuan Yin invocation. So here we go. Beloved Kuan Yin, Goddess of compassion and Mother of mercy, wrap me in your loving presence. Please help me release whatever I no longer need. Teach me to forgive, to soften, and to see with the eyes of love. May your grace guide my healing. So be it. So that's it for this week. Short and sweet. I hope you have an amazing week, and I'll speak to you next week. Thanks for listening.